Hello, this is meant to be a relatively quick video that is hopefully going to highlight how grade 5 students can read and alter existing code involving conditional statements. So in this sample activity that has been shared through our ADSB Tech page, we are calling it a Clash of the Penguins task, and we're challenging students to make changes to the existing code to make it more interesting. Now there are some notes that are included in the code once you click See Inside, and using those notes, the challenge would be for students to be able to make tweaks or changes to the code. And before we do that, there are a couple of different ways that this can be approached when it comes to altering existing code. One can be altering the code to fix bugs or problems in the code which need to be fixed in order for the program to run properly. Other alterations or changes to the existing code could simply be enhancements or other different changes just to make the program run differently, maybe to make it more interesting or just add a different element to it. So it could be bug fixes or it could just be enhancements to the program. So once you are taking a look at a shared project such as this one, and assuming that the student has a Scratch account, they will have access to the green Remix button. And the importance of that is that will allow the students to access an already created project. And once they click Remix, it saves that project to their own account. This now becomes their very own. It's not interrupting or messing with the original project owner's project. So on this right now, I have my two penguins on opposite sides of the stage. If I click the green flag to run it through, you'll see that the penguins turn and face one another. They start animating and they are making contact, bumping into one another, and going to the side of the page. And if I just run it for a couple of more seconds, it literally almost does look like a typical Clash of the Penguins type battle where one is literally going to push the other one off the page. So I'm just going to stop the program. Right now, because I am highlighted on the first penguin, this is the code for penguin number 1. If I want to see the code for penguin number 2, I click on penguin 2, and it looks similar with a couple of small little tweaks. Let me just switch back to penguin 1 for a second. So again, the idea for this project would be, if we are using this as a grade 5 example, and again, the focus would be grade 5 Ontario math curriculum for this, we have a number of different items in our code. We have a couple of different control structures that are initiated by the green flag. One of them is that forever, as long as the program is running, that if this penguin is touching penguin 2, it's changing the x value by negative 100. So that's showing me that as soon as penguin 1 touches penguin 2, it's going to bounce backwards, causing that rebound effect. Which, again, when I click the green flag and you watch them face one another, as soon as it hits penguin 2, you can see it slightly bounce back, but it keeps going forward. After it originally rebounds a little bit, keeps going forward. Why is that? Well, if we take a look through the code, you can see that as we get to here, repeat until touching penguin 2, we have next costume, a brief wait time, and a move. Again, because this code is already created, this is not the part that's really incredibly important at this point. For students who have a background in Scratch and these elements have already been taught, there will be an understanding of what they mean. Just to very briefly run through, this repeat loop, repeats would be grade 3 curriculum expectations. Grade 4 talks about nested events. In this case, we have an if-then conditional statement, which is inside a forever loop. That's a nested event, which is grade 4 curriculum. However, the conditional statement, which is if-then, so if touching penguin 2, then what's going to happen? It's going to change the x value by negative 100. That's a conditional statement, which is grade 5. When we talk about next costume, we have the sprite, which is the penguin moving and switching costumes. We've had previous lessons where we've worked with students, and we have other YouTube videos as well that explain what that means. The next costume is what allows the penguin to animate. If I remove this next costume block, then instead of animating, the penguin will literally just be in one position and move across the screen without it looking like it's actually walking or waddling across the screen. So when a student takes this pieces of the code and starts to make changes, yes, they are altering the existing code. And if they can talk to their teacher about why they are making those changes and how it benefited the program, maybe there's some assessment value in making those changes. But for example, if I'm a grade 5 student and I'm challenged to create conditional statements, I have a note here that's attached. Try altering the existing code by adding an if then else conditional statement. You can see that this coding block, this structure is already in place. That when the green flag is clicked forever, as long as the program is running, if something happens, then another condition will be met, else, otherwise, something else is going to happen. So this is the challenge. I have a project that's already created. I need to alter the existing code. So I'm just going to run the program one more time to see what happens. I click the green flag. The penguins are facing the opposite direction. They turn, they face one another, and now they're going to start bumping into one another, bouncing back and forth. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what changes can I make to the code using that if then else statement? So as I let this run, I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe what I want to see happen, it's almost like a game. What if it actually is a game, and once one penguin gets pushed off the edge, it stops the program. So then you can see who wins the battle. So that's something I might do. So I'll stop the program. So forever if touching the edge, and again, if this has been pre-taught, I will know that the sensing block, the blue sensing block, gives me a touching option right here at the top. If I drag that over, I can switch it from mouse pointer to edge. So if touching edge, then if I go to the control block, there is an option for stop all. So again, if this has not been pre-taught to the students, then it might take quite a while to go through all of these different options to find out that these are even available. But with a couple of lessons and some experimentation in the program, the students can find out that these options are there. So again, when the green flag is clicked forever, as long as the game is running, if this penguin 1, that's what I'm coding right now, is touching the edge, then stop all. Basically means game over. Else, otherwise, well, what do I want to have happen? If the penguin's not touching the edge, then maybe I can have it do a sound effect or play music or something like that. So I'll go to the sounds block. And I have a play sound. There are a couple of pre-recorded ones that I've already dragged over to this program, Bing Bang Bop and Drum Roll. If you don't have any sounds, just quickly what you can do is go to your sounds right here, switch it from code to sounds. Down in the lower left it says choose a sound. And you can come here and there are a number of different sound effects that you can go through and add to your code. As soon as you click on one, I'll click on a guitar. As soon as I do that, it adds it to my list of sounds. So now when I click the drop down for play sound, you can see I have a guitar added. So again, you just switch to sounds and you can add a sound that way. Coming back to my if then else statement, I'm going to say forever, if this penguin is touching the edge of the screen, then I want it to stop. Else, play sound drum roll until done. So now I can click the green flag. And hopefully while this video is being recorded, it will pick up on the sounds on my device. If not, you will just have to trust me that the sound is being played. And the program is running. Now the sound is not running on mine. And it's not even stopping all. So it looks like, oh, here we go. We have a bit of a lag and a delay. There we go. You can see, now this is something that will happen from time to time, and I'm actually kind of glad that this happened during my video recording. When you add code, there are times where there are glitches or bugs in the Scratch program, and you need to click the stop sign and then hit the green flag and reinitiate the program. What just happened is what I wanted to have happen. I finally had the drum roll kick in and was playing while the penguins were battling, and once this penguin hit the edge of the screen, it finally stopped the program. The problem is that there was a lag and a delay before that initiated. So that might happen again. Let me try it one more time. I click the green flag. The drum roll is still not quite kicking in right away. So something is a little bit buggy. Now the penguins are hitting one another, and this one, again, it looks like we have another delay. So there is an issue with the code. Yeah, once again, the drum roll is coming in significantly late. So you kind of get the idea where it's still, we're having we're literally having a penguin battle, and once one gets to the edge, it should stop the program. We seem to be having a problem with this. So what I'm going to do is break apart the if then else, and I'm going to use this as a teachable moment, even though this has not worked the way that I was hoping it would. Instead of an if then else statement, this is kind of replicating what will happen in a classroom environment. If I was an actual student in a classroom and it's not working the way that it should, well, what do? I'm going to grab an if-then statement instead of an if-then else. Basically, I'm going to try to simplify this. If touching the edge, stop all. That's the only thing that's going to happen. I'm going to skip the else part. Let's try that, see if that makes a difference. So now there's no sound, but now as soon as this penguin touches the edge, it should stop the game. And the penguins are colliding, they bump each other across the screen, and as soon as this one hits the edge, it stops the program. So in this case, the if-then statement did work properly. There seems to be a bug with the if-then-else statement. So again, teachable moment. If this was a classroom situation and a student is having this issue, sometimes what has happened is you take the code, you drag it, and you drop it over and you delete it, grab another one and start over. Every now and then that will happen with the program. The student can rebuild this and try it again. Either way, at the end of the day, the important thing is that for the student to be able to alter the existing code by using a conditional statement and then explain to the teacher why they did that and what impact it had on the program. Hopefully that was a helpful video. Enjoy your day.